So there's been some interesting stuff happening in the amazing digital circus community right now, and I need to talk about these supposed episode 7 leaks that have been making the rounds, because apparently Gooseworks posted an image and then immediately deleted it, and now everyone's going insane trying to figure out what this means for the show. But honestly, I want to be really clear here that I always try to verify information before I share it, and while I can't confirm if these leaks are real, if they are, then we need to discuss what this could mean for episode 7 and the direction the show is heading. So basically what happened is that this user on Reddit posted this image claiming that Gooseworks shared a sneak peek of episode 7 and then deleted it super quickly. And in this image we can see Jax standing alone in what looks like this really dark, ominous space with a single spotlight shining down on him. And the first thing that everyone immediately noticed is that his tail is missing again, which is honestly bizarre because he literally just got it back in episode 6 after not having it for 5 episodes, and now it's gone again. And this can be an animation error at this point. But if you look closely at the lighting and the way the scene is composed, it really does look like Jax could be in the cellar, where all the abstracted characters like Kaufmo and Queenie are kept, and that's honestly terrifying to think about, because why would Jax be down there? Like, there's only a few reasons he'd be in the cellar. Either he's visiting someone who abstracted, or he somehow fell or was pushed down there, or worst case scenario, he's in the process of abstracting himself, and that's where he ended up. Then there's also this audio leak that's been circulating on TikTok, and when you listen to it, it's this really heavy, dramatic music that builds and builds, and it honestly reminds me of the track that played during Kinger's story about his wife in episode 3, but it's way more intense and ominous, and some people are saying they can hear what sounds like mechanical clicking, or even someone loading a weapon, which would be absolutely wild if that's what's actually happening in this scene. Now the thing about these leaks is that they're coming at a really interesting time, because we know from Gooseworks and the voice actors that episode 7 is supposed to be divisive and controversial, and Michael Kovac literally warned us that it would tear the fanbase apart. So if these leaks are real, maybe this is what they were warning us about. Maybe we're finally gonna see something that completely changes how we view these characters or the circus itself. One of the biggest theories going around is that we're finally gonna see someone abstract in real time, because think about it, we've never actually witnessed the full process of abstraction. We only saw Kaufmo after he'd already abstracted, but we never saw how it happened or what led up to that exact moment. And if this audio is connected to the image of Jax alone in the darkness, then maybe episode 7 is where we finally see how abstraction actually works, and maybe it's gonna be Jax who goes through it. But there's another possibility that's equally disturbing, which is that this could be a flashback episode showing us what happened with Ribbit or even Kaufmo before they abstracted. Because Jax doesn't have his tail in this image, and we know he didn't have it for the first 5 episodes, so maybe this is showing us something from the past. And Gooseworks did confirm on Blue Sky that we're gonna see Ribbit at some point in the show, so this could be how they're introducing that storyline through some kind of traumatic flashback. And actually the tail thing is really significant here, because it keeps appearing and disappearing, and that has to mean something narratively. Like maybe it represents Jax's mental state, or his grip on reality, or his connection to his humanity. Because in episode 5 he suddenly realized his tail was missing, and he seemed confused about it. Then in episode 6 he had it back with no explanation, and now in this leaked image it's gone again, and that pattern is way too deliberate to be meaningless. And what's really making me think that these leaks might be legit is how they connect to everything we've been seeing with Jax's character arc, because in episode 6 we saw him have that complete breakdown when Pomni tried to connect with him, and he literally couldn't handle the idea that they'd had fun together. And if he's already that close to the edge, then maybe episode 7 is where he finally goes over it, especially if something happens that forces him to confront his trauma directly. And here's this really disturbing theory about how the other circus members might try to force Jax into some kind of intervention or therapy session with Kinger in the dark, because we know Kinger becomes completely lucid in darkness, and maybe Pomni and Ragata think that if they can get Jax alone with lucid Kinger, he might be able to help him work through his issues. But the problem is that Jax has built this entire worldview around everyone staying in their assigned roles, and Kinger is supposed to be the crazy one. And if Kinger suddenly breaks the archetype by being completely lucid and trying to psychoanalyze Jax, it could shatter Jax's entire coping mechanism because he needs everyone to stay in their boxes so he can maintain his lie that nothing matters and they're all just cartoons. But if Kinger demonstrates that he's actually deeply aware and emotionally intelligent, then Jax would have to confront the fact that these are real people with real feelings that he's been hurting. The audio leak itself is really hard to describe, but there is this building intensity to it that suggests something catastrophic is about to happen, and it has that same emotional weight as the music from episode 3's emotional moments, but turned up to 11. And when you combine that with the visual of Jax alone in what could be the cellar, surrounded by darkness with just that single spotlight, it really does paint a picture of someone at their absolute lowest point. And you know what's also interesting? The composition of that leaked image with Jax in the spotlight. It almost looks theatrical, like he's on a stage about to deliver a monologue or have some kind of dramatic revelation, and maybe that's intentional. Maybe episode 7 is gonna be Jax finally dropping his mask completely and revealing everything he's been hiding, all the pain and trauma and guilt he's been carrying since Kaufman and Ribbit abstracted. But there's also the possibility that this scene takes place after Jax does something truly unforgivable, something that crosses a line even he can't rationalize away, and he ends up in the cellar either by choice or because the others put him there. And that spotlight could represent his moment of clarity where he finally realizes what he's become and what he's done to everyone around him. But what's also interesting about the missing tail is that it could also be a visual metaphor for Jax losing parts of himself. Like each time he pushes someone away or hurts someone, he loses another piece of who he used to be. And by episode 7, he's lost so much of himself that he's barely holding together, which would explain why the tail keeps disappearing and reappearing. And it's showing us his internal struggle to maintain his identity. And honestly, if we're really about to see Jax abstract or have a complete mental breakdown, it could make sense why Gooseworks and Michael Kovac have been so cagey about this episode, because Jax is such a polarizing character already, and seeing him either get redemption or completely self-destruct is gonna split the fanbase right down the middle, with some people feeling justified and others feeling betrayed by whatever direction they take his character. But the cellar setting, if that's really where this scene takes place, is also important, because that's where all the consequences of the circus are stored, all the people who couldn't handle it anymore, all the failures and tragedies, and if Jax ends up down there, either temporarily or permanently, it would be the ultimate confrontation with everything he's been trying to avoid and deny throughout the entire series. But the audio's ominous tone could also suggest that we're gonna get multiple revelations in episode 7, not just about Jax, but about the nature of the circus itself, because we still don't know what CNA really is, or why everyone's trapped there. And maybe Jax's breakdown or abstraction is connected to him learning something about the true nature of their situation that the others don't know yet. But honestly, even if these leaks turn out to be fake, they've highlighted something really important about where the show seems to be heading, because based on everything we saw in episode 6, Jax is clearly spiraling, and whether it happens in episode 7 or later, we are definitely building towards some kind of breaking point with his character where all his lies and defense mechanisms aren't going to be enough anymore. But the fact that this supposed leak happened and was deleted so quickly is also interesting, because if it was intentional, maybe Gooseworks wanted to give us just a taste of what's coming to prepare us psychologically for how dark episode 7 is gonna get. But if it was accidental, then maybe we've seen something we weren't supposed to see yet, something that would have been a massive shock if we'd gone in blind. But let me know what you think about all these leaks and theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.